shots being fired, and there are people running, possibly victims involved.
All of a sudden, we heard a very loud shot.
You have a baseball bat, they have a rifle, you're defenseless.
What is known as a charity baseball game between members of Congress overshadowed by gunfire and chaos.
Many congressmen reacting to today's shooting in Virginia, including some of our local representatives who were shocked to hear the news of Representative Steve Scalise.
The individual that was doing the shooting had been at the stadium and was watching some of the practice, and some of my colleagues had engaged, had chit chat with the person, and it was ultimately Steve Scalise's security detail that brought the shooter down.
We're going to stay strong. We're going to stay united. As members of Congress, not as Democrats, not as Republicans, but as members of Congress, we're going to stand together. And usually moments like this will define us as individuals. And I think this moment is going to define us as strong individuals, that we are Americans. We're not Democrats or Republicans, but we are Americans.
The FBI special agent in charge giving us an update on this attack on lawmakers just about 30 minutes ago, saying this is still a very active investigation.
Yeah, 5 people were shot, including Congressman Steve Scalise, who is in critical condition. FBI officials say they are still trying to figure out the motive behind this attack.
ABC's Lana Zach is in Virginia with the latest.
Baseball equipment left on the field, scattered remnants of a summer morning interrupted by gunfire. The assailant shooting at least 5 victims, including the Republican whip, Congressman Steve Scalise, who is now in critical condition.
Steve and others, you are deeply in our prayers. We count the minutes until you return.
Partisanship was cast aside in a shared disbelief. Democrats seen here praying for their Republican colleagues.
We are united in our shock. We are united in our anguish. An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us.
Investigators are still trying to determine the motive of the shooter, James T. Hodgkinson of Belleville, Illinois. Just before the shooting began, one congressman was approached by a stranger.
I did have an interaction with someone in the parking lot who asked me if the team practicing was a Democrat or Republican team. I told him they were Republicans. He said, "Okay, thanks."
Moments later, gunshots pierced the air. The shooter at third base, Congressman Scalise, hit on second.
He dragged himself after he was shot from near second base about 10 or 15 yards into the field, just to be, I think, a little further away from the gunman, but he was laying motionless out there.
We had no arms. All we had was bats.
Capitol Hill police on the scene returning fire. Representative Joe Barton's 10-year-old son Jack was also on the field. Members tried to protect him in the dugout.
He had 25 dads. Everybody out there was looking out for him.
And that shooter is believed to be deceased. We do continue to monitor the health of all 5 of the victims. And in a show of solidarity, that congressional baseball game that was scheduled for tomorrow will continue to go on as planned, with one significant difference. Republicans and Democrats will all be wearing the same jerseys, LSU, in honor of Congressman Scalise. Reporting from Delray, Virginia, Lana Zach, ABC News.